Hi, it's Chris Horsley from Cosiv. Today I wanted to talk about some work we've been doing here to change the MISP UI a bit and bring some modern responsive web design into the mix. And this is something you can turn on and try today, and I'll show you how that's done in a second. One of the motivations for me is that when I'm using MISP as an analyst, I'm often working sometimes remotely on a small laptop screen, and we have this classic problem where there's a lot of great information in MISP, but sometimes some of the information I want is hiding off to the right-hand side of the screen. So you can see here the info column, the title, what this event is about, is often off screen, as well as some of these action buttons. I use these quite a bit, and they're on that right-hand side. So let's turn on the new interface, and I'll show you how to do that now. So you go up to Global Actions, and if you've updated to a recent version of MISP, so I'm on the latest here, 2.5.32, you can click this V2.5.32 button. What you'll see is you get this new interface, and there's a few things we can point out here. First is, well, the first goal at least, is to reduce the information density a little bit. So give us a little bit more breathing room in the interface. It's responsive as I resize the browser. The title of events is now much more leftward as well. So, because that's the thing I want to see front and center when I'm doing my analysis. Who said it, in this case circle, and here's that title that I want to see. The other change you'll notice is that a lot of those icons which were on the right hand side are now located in this drop down menu with little labels next to it to make it just a little bit easier if it's not something you use all the time. So otherwise it should look pretty familiar to you. Now, one other thing that I want to point out is that you may not have noticed in the original MISP interface that there's this columns button. It wasn't labeled as columns, but it was in the interface. I quite like actually turning off tags because I sometimes find that it creates a lot of busyness on the page. So there's a new column we've added called highlight tags. So if you go into your tag taxonomies up here and you go into listing all of your taxonomies, what you'll see is that you can select them for highlight, and only those tags will appear here. So for me, the things that are important are things like TLP, workflow. So quickly an analyst can just see those tag families that are the most important to them. Also up the top here, you might have noticed that the left-hand navigation has sort of been moved up here to various buttons around the place, but if we want to create an event, that button is now there, front and center, something we do a lot, as well as creating an event from an import file, say a sticks file, MISP JSON, free text, and the like. Now, the other big change in this release, or with this new beta UI, is that the nav menu has changed, as you might have noticed. In the original MISP UI, and let's go back and turn on the original UI because we can easily do that. And I should add, this is per user. So if you don't like the new UI, go back to using classic, and everyone in your team can select either the new beta UI or the classic UI. You should see that, there's a principle in UI design that we want about 7 maximum choices, because for human beings, that's about as many as we like to process. So if we go and turn it back on, you'll see that the navigation now it uses that hierarchical method you'll see and know from a lot of operating systems you use. So if we want to do tags and taxonomies, that's there. If we want to look at bringing data into the system, remote servers and feeds are here. And a lot of icons added just to help, again, us quickly identify that option that we want. So the nav button, or the nav bar rather, is something new there. And again, you turn it off if you want to by going to Resources Beta UI. So as of today, it's the event listing page and the nav bar. But we have plans for other screens and to contribute back to this project with alternative versions of those. Very keen to get your feedback. As mentioned, it is in beta, so feedback is great. We'll try to incorporate as much of that as we can.